Our times are here, and the signs are not far-fetched. Many factors are conspiring to paint a bleak future for Nigeria's economy. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, is lamenting that continuous payment of fuel subsidy is hurting the country's ability to service its debt and fulfill other financial obligations. The minister said petrol subsidy costs Nigeria an additional 4 trillion naira, much more than what was originally planned. In the same vein, the acting Accountant General of the Federation, Chukwuyere Anameke, also lamented the government's revenues are under serious threat and called for implementation of fiscal discipline and strategies to mitigate the challenges. PKO. Fuel subsidy, removal of fuel subsidy is a very difficult topic, especially when we put Nigerians and our realities into consideration. Now, at the same time, the government is in dire need of finance to improve the economy. How does the government draw a balance here?
It's tough. Subsidy removal is an emotive issue because when you imagine what people are going through already, you can picture in your heart what could then happen by the time subsidies finally
Removed.
The pain that it will inflict on Nigerians is easier imagined. Many people are not thinking about it. The reason I want subsidy to go is because so many people had been feeding off it. You can't tell me that some people have not become multi-billionaires from this subsidy payments. Many of us refuse to agree that our rate of consumption of PMS is what the NNPC tells us. Even with a gun to my neck, I will not agree. There's no reason it will revolt against my conscience to agree. And I'm happy that even the number 3 man of our nation, the Senate President, came out to say he too does not agree with those figures. That we are consuming in the realm of 200. No, I mean we can't suddenly go to 101 million liters a day when some years back, during the Jonathan regime, when there was greater prosperity, when Nigerians were not suffering like this, when more people bought cars, if we didn't do more than 50, how come we are being told now that we are consuming more than 101 million liters a day? And they will argue that, oh, a lot of it is going into smuggling. Yes, smuggling is a factor. But was it that there wasn't smuggling at that time? As long as we don't even figure out the exact or something close to the exact consumption, real consumption level of Nigerians, consumption level of PMS or petrol of Nigerians, this subsidy bill will keep rising because why would it not rise? It should be lower than this. If in actual fact, what we are told is actually, if we are told the actual rate of consumption of petrol in our country is clearly much higher than, much lower than we are being told. But let's even leave that. But I hope that we can address that because it's part of why it is the subsidy bill is that high. 947 billion. The World Bank has told us that we are going to ultimately this year spend about 5 trillion on subsidy payment. Whereas even in the budget, it was 4 billion that we projected. That's that with subsidy payment. We are broke as a nation. I once came on the program to say Nigeria was broken. Some people somewhere started attacking me. They think They don't know what it means to be broke. When you are broke, you can't pay your bills. Now we've been told by the finance minister that we are struggling to even service debt. Yet, we are taking more debt. Where would that take us? You are struggling to pay the debt that you currently have. But in the words of the minister, we are
Still borrowing.
borrowing more. This is dangerous. We can't pay. We've been going to the CBN and collecting money. We call it ways and means. You go and borrow money from the CBN to pay salaries. The World Bank has warned us that this is not a good development. Block the areas through which the leakages are happening. If we block it, we'll be able to earn more from our revenue generating agencies. We are not doing that. If today the House of Reps conducts a probe, you will see many of the revenue generating agencies, you will see that they are not remitting what they should remit. We are not addressing that. And if we don't have enough by way of generated revenue, from where are we going to pay for our debt? From where are we going to find money to take care of infrastructure? We will then resort to borrowing again. So it's just a difficult situation that we found ourselves. I'm happy that the new Accountant General of the Federation, rather than simply sit there and be stealing money, has come out to say, look, Nigerians, this is what we are facing. We can't pay salaries without going to borrow money. Nigerians need to know the truth. Those who think that we are big, we are bigger than we are so rich, this and that, they need to realize that we are in perilous times. And the way things are going, unless drastic steps are taken, this thing will continue to get worse.
Now, Dari, we've listened to BKO talking about drastic steps. Why has it been so hard for the government to get us out of this quagmire?
Because we don't have a political will, as they call it. They call it that. But I'll tell you, it's because those saddled with doing that are not sincere. It takes sincerity. We talk about blocking leakages. One of the areas we should constantly and very importantly look at is the issue of fuel subsidy. When the issue is removing fuel subsidy or leaving it, I am always neither here nor there. And I'll tell you why. I am for examining what we are paying, doing away with the excesses and paying the actual. If we are paying what we ought to be paying for fuel subsidy, it will not hurt the country. Removing fuel subsidy will hurt the people. It will increase the suffering of Nigerians. Okay. It will make life more difficult. It will make the future bleak. Because if we do not have people say, let's do it now so that we'll take care of the future. And I say, no. If we do fuel subsidy, we do away with fuel subsidy today, and the crop of people who should be in school today are unable to go to school, there will be problems tomorrow. The same future we want to take care of. Those young ones will become the problems of that future. What do we do? What we should do is be sincere. What are we subsidizing? Let us subsidize just what Nigerians are consuming.
Okay.
If we subsidize just what Nigerians are consuming, people will not make money out of it so much that they become multi-trillionaires. People will not make so much money out of it that they will bleed Nigeria to death. Because if you look at it, there are people who will tell you this fuel is being smuggled out. But the truth is that the figures are being doctored. We are paying for what we are not consuming. And because it is still in the hands of some people, with the connivance of people in government, there is a lot of difficulty in getting the figures right. And until we get the figures right, we'll simply be talking about let's remove fuel subsidy. We don't need to remove fuel subsidy. We need to get what we are subsidizing right, ensure that we are only paying for what Nigerians are consuming, and you discover that it won't hurt us this much, so much so that we are thinking of doing away with it.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, for your robust contributions so far.